Hello Leo, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your September shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Leo, before we get into your cards, the image that's coming to me for you this month, I'm getting a lot of train imagery. There's a specific image of laying the tracks. It's like those child train sets where you kind of like snap in the tracks one piece at a time. It's like you're snapping in, maybe you're laying new tracks, because it's like, you know, in those play sets, you've got the track that goes around the circle, and then you've got other options where you can take a piece out and reroute, you know, flip it the other direction and reroute. So maybe this is something about like laying new tracks to go in a different direction, to reroute the train, to reroute the track of your life, or the trajectory you're on, or the direction you're going in, something like that. But the spirit of it was very much like working on the railroad. I actually got a lot of like old soul and R&B and like disco songs coming to me, like oh gosh, now they're all going out of my head. The one, ain't no stopping us now, we're on the move, you know, like that was kind of a thing. Keep on trucking came to me. So it was like this feeling of like, okay, get on the train, because that was another one. It was like, get on the train, or at least that phrase was coming to me. Get on the train. Come on, get on the train. It's like, and that train is making a new track. But again, the energy of it was very much just like, we're working on the railroad. We're just keep trucking, keep laying that new track, Leo. Keep, you know, like, don't stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Interesting. Let's get to the cards. We're using the fairy deck today. The fairy deck has been speaking to me in personal readings so much lately, so I'm not surprised it wants to come into these September shift readings. So what is the shift, the shape shift for Leo in September? Shapeshift for Leo in September. Cards are unusually quiet for you, Leo. Okay. Maybe that's why. We just got Tobira of the Waters, which speaks of emotional release. 3. Okay, that's all of them. So let's see what we've got here. Just gotta retrieve one. Give me a second. Okay, Leo, this is really interesting. Wow. Okay. All right, my friend, this is a big reading. This is reminding me actually of the Cancer reading, which I did yesterday, but in reverse. It's like this interesting opposite energy, because the Cancer reading, okay, I think I just have to show you what I mean. So the two outside cards are like your main shift cards, and then I pull 3 cards on the inside of the spread to talk about what this experience, what the shift feels like. And so the shift cards for you are these like very sort of these fairy cards that really talk about your physical experience. I am going to get to them in a second, don't worry. But then the internal cards are talking about a larger sort of spiritual energy. Okay? So you can see the difference here between these cards that obviously speak to like a very physical experience here, because we have fairy embodied fairies, and then here we have these more like etheric spiritual energies in the center with these two. Gosh, I don't have enough hands, you know, Leo. With these two very like physical embodied experiences flanking it. Well, Cancer had the exact opposite. It had these more spiritual cards on the outside and a more human experience on the inside. So this is interesting. So let's look at this shift. I think something really big is happening for you. This shift in September seems to be asking you to allow an emotional release. This Tabira of the Waters is my card of emotional processing, because as you can see, this fairy is really looking at their reflection in the waters. You know, waters is an emotional, intuitive energy. And so they're looking at their reflection in the waters and letting the waters just sort of run through their fingers. It's processing, right? It's like looking at something, examining something, and then letting it go. Seeing something clearly, really more specifically, I think feeling something, letting yourself feel this emotional energy, this emotional process, and then just letting it go. There's a real energy of release with this card, emotional processing and emotional release. Like it's time to let it go, because look, all of these fairies are trying to move you forward. See that? All of this forward momentum underneath supporting this process of emotional release for you. But it's like you have to release the emotions you're holding on to before you can move forward. Like that's part of the moving forward process. Really interesting. And then we have, the card that breaks my heart. It'll be the Retriever. Look at this beautiful card. I mean, it's so sensitive and so tender. And you can see Ilby here is just taking something, retrieving something, right? Retrieving something that is theirs, that belongs to them, that belongs to their soul, their spirit. Ilby's just taking this and placing it right at the throat. So there's a real, and with the blue fairy that we're looking at here, there's a real emphasis on the throat, on speaking the truth, on speaking your feelings. Looking at your feelings squarely, processing them through, releasing what needs to be released. And I think part of what needs to be released is released in the form of vocal expression, vocal emotional expression, essentially sharing your feelings. Sharing your feelings in order to retrieve something that is very much yours, or that feels like it belongs to you in some way. And then the experience of that here for you, Leo, is deeply spiritual. We have the Singer of Initiation, the Rar, and then Ecstasis. So the transition here is you really looking at your feelings and releasing what you no longer need to hold on to, and seeing what you need to see about how you actually feel is taking you through some sort of process of initiation. And you know, initiations are really about facing your fears. It's about moving through things that scare you in order to come out the other side having learned something about yourself. You know, it's like you never really grow and mature and develop to the next stage of your existence if you don't go through challenges. And so this is a challenge for you, Leo, to face your feelings in this way and perhaps express your feelings. Speak your feelings out loud in some way. Because then we have the Rar. The Rar at the center of your spread. This came through in the Cancer reading as like a bomb being dropped. It's this massive energy that's larger than you, that is on the move. And when it reaches the right place and the right time, right, it drops. And it has massive repercussions that I think for you, Leo, are really positive, because the card after that is ecstasis, which of course sounds like ecstasy. This pinnacle experience of elation and elevation. It's an emotional, spiritual experience, but part of the initiation here, I think, is facing the RAR. And again, to me, the RAR is like, what bomb needs to be dropped? Somebody's dropping a bomb. You dropped a bomb on me, baby. Okay, again with these like soul songs. 11:11. Okay, so someone's either dropping a bomb on you, Leo, and that is asking you to face some feels, and or you are dropping a bomb as part of this rite of passage that is expressing your feelings, expressing your heart, expressing how you actually feel. But again, it's leading you to this bliss state because you're retrieving something that I think you feel is very much part of you. It was not an easy retrieval. Look at Ilby's face here. There is a sort of sadness, a sort of emotional tenderness and fragility and delicacy to this card, to this retrieval. Perhaps it is like long and hard won, you know, but it's like part of that retrieval. I mean, if you look into the eyes of this fairy, that it's just absolute emotional honesty. Emotional rawness. Raw. Interesting reading here, Leo. I'll be very interested to know if this is tying into that Cancer reading for any of you. If you've got Cancer in your chart or Cancers in your life. Very, very interesting reading. So we're going to take this into an extended now. I'm going to pull some more cards and see what this is about, right? What is this initiation? What is the roar? This huge, potentially, you know, because the thing about this being this like atomic energy is it's pressure. The roar feels like pressure to me. It's like this massive body moving through outer space, filled with so much energy. And then when that energy is released, it's like, right? Ecstasis. When this energy when you finally run into this and it bursts into ecstasy and oblivion, and it's both. It's interesting. But again, so this is happening on the spiritual level. Some sort of rite of passage, energy that's been pent up, bursts and experiences release in this ecstatic, obliterating, right? Because this is like a bomb. So it's both obliterating something for you spiritually, and then also like releasing something into ecstasy and freedom. So it's both. It's like destructive, and it's like when something is finally released, it is it can destroy your life in the best possible way. That's what I'm talking about. It like destroys everything, but releases everything. Frees everything. It's that kind of energy that we're talking about here. But again, it's an initiation to get to that point. You have to really pass through the waters of your feelings and your heart and your emotions and your intuitions, and that is a scary, difficult passage. But in the end, you will have retrieved something very precious to, I think, your soul, because we have this strong spiritual, etheric energy. Okay, wow, I just went into a whole other explanation here, Leo. Hope you hung on for that. Okay. So we're going to pull more cards now and see what else is coming through this reading in more specific detail. If you'd like to join me for that extended reading, click the link in the description box below and that will take you to Patreon. Patreon is an online community I've created for folks who like my work and want to dig deeper. If that sounds like you, head on over there, read the description when you get there so you know how a patronage works, and I will send you the extended for September. All right, Leo, take care. Through whatever this atomic energy is that is basically dropping in and changing everything in your life, this massive reckoning, again, it's so positive because it is returning you to yourself, to the version of yourself that is as powerful as the King of Fire. This one who is who is filled with their own power, who is confident, decisive, strong, creative, who blazes their own trail, again, laying your own path, laying your own tracks, even if it's diverging from the trajectory you thought you were on. The King of Wands says there is no set trajectory. The King of Wands says, well, there's no track over there, there's no clear path, but I'll make one, and lays their own track.